everyone, and welcome to my podcast Keep It Real with Kapila Mistry. Giving birth and being born brings us into the essence of creation, where the human spirit is courageous and bold, and the body a miracle of wisdom. Today's episode, I'll be speaking about life of a newborn. Newborn babies seem mostly to sleep, eat, cry, and poo. But as you and your baby get to know each other and bond in your early days together, your day will also involve cuddling and playtime. All babies are different. Their eating habits, their sleeping patterns often change, and it may take some time for them to settle into a routine. You may prefer that your day to day activities follow what your newborn does, and alternatively, you may also like to start to establish a very simple routine. Either way, your baby and you will begin to settle into a daily pattern of sleeping, feeding, and playing. I'll firstly start talking about sleeping patterns of newborns. Newborns spend most of their time sleeping between feeds, so each sleep period is around 2 to 3 hours. However, your baby may start to stir after 40 minutes and may need your help to settle back into sleep again. Into a 24-hour period, they may be asleep for around 16 hours approximately. Your baby cannot tell the difference between sleeping during the day and night and will probably wake for feeds 2 to 3 times during the night. But once your baby is a month old, they may start sleeping for longer periods at night. And from 3 to 6 months, their sleep habits and pattern increases. So they may sleep for 4 to 5 hours at a time. Because the newborn's sleep pattern changes regularly, it is a good idea in the first few months to take it slowly and remain flexible. Next point is about feeding. Whether you choose to breastfeed or bottle feed, your baby will need around 6 to 8 feeds in a 24-hour period. So, breast milk is said to be the best thing to be fed to your child till 6 months of age. So, breast milk is easily digested. So, if you are breastfeeding, your baby may even feed up to 12 times a day. At certain times, your baby may feed very frequently, which is called cluster feeding. After the cluster feed, they might have a longer sleep. So, cluster feed is taking a feeding every hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So, my baby Naira is a cluster feeder. She demands milk every half an hour or an hour. So, as soon as she sleeps, she wakes up maybe after an hour's time, she would ask for a feed again. So, asking for feedings again and again in a shorter span of time is cluster feeding. So, if you want to calculate the time between feeds, you should work out the time from the beginning of the last feed, not the end. As well as providing your baby with the important nutrition that they need to grow, feeding your newborn is a great way to have some cuddle time also. So, cuddling time is something that is really important as per me. Naira is usually having a habit of sleeping while she's taking a feed, so that is really wrong. And many doctors have suggested to have, a habit of speaking and keeping the child awake while she is taking the feed, so that they don't develop a habit of sucking during the sleep. So Naira usually has got that habit. She's into that habit wherein she cannot sleep without a pacifier at times or without having milk. So she needs that, otherwise she would not sleep just with the cuddling or rocking one part. So that is one thing which I missed out, but this is really important. So, cuddling and playing, as I was saying, making time for cuddling and playtime with your baby as part of your daily activities is important for their growth and development. The key is to interact with your newborn. Rather than giving them games and toys right from the beginning, the ideas for playing should include making eye contact. So, initial 3 months, they gradually start to make eye contact. They smile at you. Naira started smiling, so she has developed these habits. They try to imitate your sounds, the humming sounds. When you sing nursery rhymes to them, or when they hear nursery rhymes, this is usually which encourages them to imitate and sing along with the parents. So, reading or telling them a story. So, I usually have a habit of creating new stories, new songs, new rhymes for Naira. She enjoys that to the fullest. Give your baby different things to look at and feel while talking to them. You can also give your baby supervised tummy time each day, at least for 10 minutes to 30 minutes. This is really important. So tummy time is something which actually the baby lies on their tummy. So this improves their muscle strength of the neck, which is very important. So at a certain age, your baby starts to lift their head, balance their head, lift their head. So when they're lying on their stomach, they lift the head, which improves their muscle strength, and even the hands and legs, they try to move it in a different way. That is really good for their development. Giving your baby a massage is really important in the early days of a newborn. So I usually massage Naira myself, and she enjoys the massage time, taking bath, all of these things she really enjoys a lot. For some babies, playtime might simply involve cuddling or having quite a stretch and kick on a blanket, but some may want only 10 minutes or 20 minutes play at one time, while others may prefer longer. So it depends, every child is different. If so, try a quieter activity. Alternatively, you may notice from their behavior that they're getting tired, or they are just overwhelmed, frightened, and they want to sleep. So you should understand that and accordingly behave. Speaking about the crying pattern, sometimes it seems as if your baby is always crying. So, this is normal, and it is a way for your newborn to communicate with you. So, initially, I used to get really, really, really frightened to see my baby just crying, just crying because she is hungry, she cries. She needs a diaper change, she cries. She's sleepy, she cries. So, later on, when I actually realized that there's no other way that a baby could communicate with you, they cannot speak, they could only cry and communicate what they want to say. So you have to understand what and why they are crying for. So about 1 in 10 babies cry more than 3 hours a day. You may find that your newborn cries more in the afternoon, at times more in the evening or at night. So it depends. Many of the babies also get a colic situation. Colic is nothing but a digestion issue. So I realized that Naira used to actually cry more than 3 to 4 hours, but not at a stretch or without reason. She was not colicky. I used to think she is having colic, but she was not colicky. It was just that she would require a feed, and then later I realized it would be because of the diaper. She's really irritated with the heavy diaper. So later on, we realized that every parent would realize that with time. And as I said, when your baby is crying, check if they are hungry, tired, or uncomfortable. They may need feeding at times, they may try to settle to sleep. A clean nappy is really important, or your baby could be too hot or cold, so the temperature check is also really important. They could be frightened, they might be needing a cuddle, they must be overexcited or overtired, you never know. So, as you get to know your baby better, you will start to recognize different types of cries and what they mean. So, responding to your baby's crying is an important part of trust and bonding. So, other activities include part of your daily routine that will also involve regular changing nappies and washing your baby. Bathe your baby every day or at least 3 to 4 times a week. That is really important to keep them clean. and avoid unhygienic situations. What routines can I start with my newborn is a question that every new mom would have. Even I had a question mark in the initial month, that what and how should I set up a routine so that even I could get a sleep at night. But that is a little difficult in the earlier 3 months at least, because babies are too young. They have just stepped out, or they have just popped out from the belly, and it is really difficult for them to adjust to the outside world. So you are the one who would be helping them, make them settle down and feel calmer and have a situation that they could adjust to. So it helps to remain flexible with newborns when you also understand their patterns and try to adjust with it. However, you might choose to start doing simple things with your newborn in a similar order when it comes to sleeping, feeding, and playing. These three are the ultimate things that you could do in the initial 3 months. When your baby wakes from a sleep, offer them a feed. Is the first thing. Offer them a feed without them crying and just taking the entire world into the head. So this is very important. In the middle of or at the end of the feed, change your baby's nappy. So when you change it at the end of the feed, and when they are already on the verge of sleeping, the baby would again wake up because of the disturbance. So it is a very good idea to either change it in between feeds or maybe earlier. So I usually do it in between feeds. So that is one thing which is good. Have a cuddle, talk, and playtime. Babies don't usually just sleep. At times, few babies are active also. They have a playtime. So I also have a specific playtime. I speak to Naira. I, sing songs, rhymes, stories. Everything comes into that playtime. So that is very important for a child's development. Settle your baby down to sleep. So this pattern is also really important. For me to make my baby understand what is night and day, I usually have a busy environment for her during the entire day. At night, I usually avoid playing much, avoid talking much, keep the rooms light dimmer than usual, at which is at the daytime. That is one thing which would help. Otherwise, things are pretty normal as it goes during the day. So at night, you may prefer to skip playtime, as I mentioned, and simply try to settle them back to sleep, or else it would be difficult for you to adjust, because once they are awake, nobody can make them sleep again. All right. So, this was it about today's episode. Always remember that you should do what you feel is best for you and your baby, but seek advice if you're not sure. That is really important. So, every mom would have a different way of breastfeeding, of playtime, of cuddling time, of sleeping patterns, everything. But it is always very, very, very important to have an advice from your mom, your in-laws, or the doctors, pediatricians. They are the best ones to suggest, and they are also experienced. At the end, uh, your child's health is what matters. So always go for the best thing possible. So I'll be coming soon with the next episode with a lot of more information and experiences. Till then, stay safe, stay happy, and keep it real.